Thank you very much. We thank the President of the ECOWAS Commission for his look at the illustrious history of the founding fathers of the community. It is now my honor to give the floor to the Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Government, President Bola Tinubu, for his welcome and opening statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, let me respectfully stand on the already established protocol. It is with profound honor and deep sense of appreciation that I welcome you all to Abuja for the 67th Ordinary Session of ECOWAS Authority of Head of States and Governments. I thank each of you, my dear brothers, colleagues, for honoring this invitation and for your unwavering commitment to the unity, peace, and prosperity of our community. Your presence here today is a testament to the enduring solidarity that defines our regional integration. Thank you. Since morning we've started. Let me again appreciate each and extend heartfelt gratitude for your participation in two recent landmark events. The 50th anniversary celebration of ECOWAS, held in Lagos on the 25th of May, and the just concluded West African Economic Summit held here in Abuja. Congratulations to all of you that put all the efforts together. The two events have been very successful. At the Economic Summit, we turn our attention towards a better future, sustainable growth, investment, and the practical step needed to strengthen our regional economy by consolidating and building on the work of the ECOWAS. Excellencies, Head of States and Government, while celebrating our achievement over the past 50 years, we must equally confront the stark and persistent challenges that continue to impede our aspirations. Foremost among them, at the moment, are the security threats, violent extremism, and other cross-border crimes that have continued to widen and deepen in their intensity. These threats are transitional in nature and are driven by quite an agile and dangerous network that respects no borders. No single nation can therefore address these challenges alone. We must strengthen coordination, amplify political will, and prioritize a collective approach to security. This is why the ECOWAS standby force must move from the concept to operational reality now. I am a little bit worried about the slow pace of its activation, which is taking longer than desired. We must act decisively to operationalize the ECOWAS standby force on the fight against terrorism to serve as an instrument for peace and stability for our region. I am pleased to note that under my stewardship as the chair of authority, the ECOWAS military logistic depot in Lungwe, Sierra Leone, has been completed. The depot will play a critical role in providing equipment and other logistics to forces deployed by ECOWAS. Last February in Addis Ababa, Nigeria signed the 6th agreement with the African Union. With the completion of the depot, Nigeria is committing itself to both the sea lift and air lift arrangement with ECOWAS. Nigeria will continue to play its leading role in supporting ECOWAS regional responses to peace and security. Excellencies, Head of State and Government, distinguished guests, regional integration will be only meaningful when it is underpinned by economic prosperity. As we discussed at the West African Economic Summit, our intra-regional trade remains low, even as we possess the potential to be an economic powerhouse in the continent. We must create the enabling environment, empower the private sector, remove trade barriers, and create the conditions necessary for industry and entrepreneurship and innovation to flourish. We commend ECOWAS for implementing fundamental policies such as trade liberalization scheme, the common external tariff, regional investment code, and protocol of free movement of persons, goods, and services. These initiatives are cornerstone of our ambition to create a seamless, borderless regional market that benefits all the citizens, especially the youth. To this end, as part of ECOWAS 50th anniversary, Nigeria with ECOWAS Commission has already hosted a first ever trade and investment forum, which witnessed participation of all major economic groups and companies in the region. We must create more platforms for the private sectors to not only network, but collaborate and complement one another. It is my expectation that the outcome of the economic summit will feed into ECOWAS summit, having also identified the gaps and challenges of implementation. Despite some challenges, ECOWAS has remained a veritable model of regional integration in West Africa and elsewhere. In addition to this, to a lack of political will to see through our collective decisions, our greatest challenges are now located in the realm of political governance. The threat of insecurity, terrorism, climate change, and transnational crimes, transnational crimes. Democracy has continued to persevere in the region with the situation in the Alliance of Saharian States, AES countries. Under my chairmanship, I've deployed all diplomatic means to engage and dialogue with our brothers in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. I am confident that before too long, they may return to the family as we leave our doors open for the unity, solidarity, and shared vision of ECOWAS of the future. Your Excellencies, Head of State and Government, distinguished guests, our region's greatest asset is its people, particularly its youths, who represent the majority of our population. Their talents, creativity, and drive must be harnessed for development. We must invest in education, create sustainable jobs, and foster an environment where innovation and digital transformation can thrive. In doing so, we not only unlock economic growth, we also inoculate our societies against recruitment efforts of extremist groups and criminal syndicates. Similarly, we must mainstream gender equality in our development agenda. Women are not merely beneficiaries, they are agents of change and social transformation. Their full and active participation in economic and political life is indispensable to building just, inclusive, and resilient society. Regional integration is incomplete without physical and digital connectivity. We must fast-track the implementation of strategic infrastructure projects, including roads, railways, cross-border energy systems, and broadband connectivity. Projects like the West African Gas Pipeline, the West African Power Pool, and the Abidjan-Lagos Corridor Highway are not just symbols of regional ambition. They are also catalysts for economic transformation. This project will unlock new opportunities, connect isolated communities, and improve the living conditions of citizens of the community. We must also embrace the digital economy as a core pillar of our integration efforts, expanding broadband access, promoting digital literacy, and building secured, interoperable platform for e-commerce and digital financial services. We enable our entrepreneurs, especially young innovators and women, to participate fully in the global economy. To make all of this a reality, we call upon our developmental partners, financial institutions, and private sectors to deepen their engagement. Public-private partnerships will be essential to bridge the infrastructure gap and accelerate implementation, timeliness, and our commitment must be matched by resource mobilization, policy harmonization, and efficient cross-border coordination. In this regard, our private operatives and entrepreneurs from our region and within the African continent and our diaspora community have a special role to play. Your Excellencies, Head of States and Government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am saying in conclusion why I once more appreciate the presence of each Head of State's government and their representatives as well as our partners. Each delegate and each stakeholder represented here today, I urge you to meaningfully engage in critical deliberation to discuss the various reports and memorandum before us for the benefit of our community and a stronger ECOWAS region. Together, let us craft a roadmap for a more secure, integrated, and prosperous West Africa. With these few words, I formally declare the 76th ordinary, 67th ordinary session of this authority of head of state and government of ECOWAS open. Thank you.
Agradecimentos ao senhor presidente da conferência para as suas
Happening now is the 67th ordinary session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government, actually taking place in Abuja, the capital state of Nigeria. And of course, that is the President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, who just delivered a speech raising concerns around insecurity in the region, economy, climate change, integration, and of course the need for unity among member states. He talked about the need to strengthen coordination and amplify political will to address the issue of insecurity plaguing the region, talking about the fact that he is worried that there's been a slow pace in activating plans to deal with terrorism. And of course, he said that ECOWAS military might has been set up and now to deal with issues around tackling insurgency in West Africa. And also talked about the need for support and efforts that can help ensure prosperity and of course peace in West Africa. And he also used the opportunity to raise concerns as regards the environment that is actually stifling when it comes to improving the business sector of the particular region, saying there's a need for concerted efforts to remove trade barriers and of course to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive and to ensure that the vistas and the corners of the corridors are open for intra-trade among member states. He also used the opportunity to say that he is channeling a dialogue that would bring about cohesion and connectivity with the Sahel states, most especially Niger, Burkina Faso, and the likes that are outside of the ECOWAS community for now, and is hoping that there will be some sort of dialogue between these states to see how they can come together to work with ECOWAS to build a strong front within the region. Of course, he talked about the need to harness the talent, creativity, and vigor of the youth in West Africa, and of course, ensure gender equality that will bring about full and active participation of women in Africa's socio-economic sphere. So that's part of what the president, that is President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, and of course, I'm the chairman of ECOWAS, in his speech delivered to the heads of states that comprises Gambia's president, and of course, the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, Senegal's president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, and a couple of other heads of state and top government officials that are actually present at the ordinary session convened by the president. And of course, these are high-level summits convened by ECOWAS to see how efforts can be rallied around to deal with issues around political instability, economic situations, and of course, security challenges is actually drawing the region back. So we will continue to bring you more details of this, even as we try to connect with our correspondent, Bettina Umweli, who would also be sharing some insights as regards discussions at the 67th ordinary session of the Authority of Heads of States and Government in Abuja. Bettina, good evening to you.
Good evening, Laker. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so you can have the floor from here. Let's understand what the discussions have been, what the heads of state are talking about as regards how to accelerate the growth plans for the West African region.
Well, basically, there has been a lot of talks about public-private partnerships in order to support the government. Of course, all the while people have been saying that the government cannot do it alone. It is something that, you know, the private sector has to step in, public sector to complement, and together we can build better trades for the country, and also build better trades between the country and the neighboring countries, our brothers and sisters, so to speak. I'm talking about Ghana, you know, the Republic of Benin, who we just recently signed an agreement with. So that has been the major basis of the talks here in Abuja today. The heads of state were locked in a closed session for hours. I'm talking about 5 to 6 hours, because we have been on ground since morning at 9 a.m. And not until a few minutes ago did they come outside to actually address the press and all the people present. So I would say that whatever they were discussing inside has to have been something that, you know, took that long a time. And there's also talks about the change of chairmanship of the ECOWAS. Now, while we know that our own president, Bola Tinubu, has spent 2 years, 2024 and 2025, the next question is now what is going to happen? Who's going to be the next person? What country is going to take up the baton of leadership? While we have, you know, whispers and rumors here and there, some people have mentioned Senegal, some have mentioned Gambia, but there are also talks about the fact that the president might be asked to continue for a third term. Now, should this happen, it's going to contradict what is already the ECOWAS constitution that states that, you know, a chairman cannot compete or contest more than twice and a year each for each term. So it's a bit dicey, and until we have all the full information, then we can know who will be the next chairman of the ECOWAS.
Right, so I'd like us to quickly dwell on the insecurity problem that is actually plaguing West Africa. It's part of what the president talked about from the deliberation, of course, at the summit. How do you think that these heads of states will be going about tackling that particular situation?
Well, insecurity is something that is not new to Africa and to Nigeria in particular as well. It's something that we have been trying to combat for years. Now, what the heads of state have discussed regarding insecurity is still not open to the public, especially to the media yet. Like we know, we were watching the president give his speech, and shortly before we heard the president of ECOWAS also speak a little. So we haven't heard the basis of what was discussed in the meetings, and I do not have that information right now to give you regarding security from this meeting.
Thank you so much, Bettina. And really, at this time, we'd like to go back to the discussions proper on the floor and see what the deliberation, of course, as regards opening up the vista for growth and, of course, expansion of the West African region and what it would mean for the countries. We have about 17 countries that make up ECOWAS, so to speak. And of course, it will be very important to know what the way forward would be if this particular region is to champion the cause of the African continent. We now continue with the live feeds. Rise from Abuja.
Remind us of the decades of fruitful cooperation between ECOWAS and the United Nations. The United Nations collaboration with the ECOWAS through the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel and the broader United Nations system has supported joint engagement in several areas. These include preventive diplomacy, support towards peaceful elections, and sound governance. In particular, the United Nations has worked alongside ECOWAS to champion the equal, meaningful, and sustained participation of women and youth in peace building, democratic governance, and decision-making process throughout the region. For the United Nations, ECOWAS exemplifies the vital role of regional economic communities in maintaining peace and security as envisioned in Chapter 8 of the UN Charter. Excelências, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, no momento em que marcamos um importante marco na história da CEDEAO, as Nações Unidas reiteram o seu compromisso para aprofundar a cooperação com esta organização, no espírito de solidariedade, complementaridade e vantagens comparativas. Mantemos o nosso compromisso de colaborar para garantir que a paz, segurança e estabilidade da nossa sub-região sejam uma realidade sustentável. Termino desejando que os trabalhos desta cimeira decorram de forma frutífera no interesse comum da paz e da estabilidade da nossa sub-região. Agradeço pela vossa amável atenção.
Merci. Nous remercions le représentant spécial du secrétaire général des Nations Unies pour l'Afrique et pour l'Afrique de l'Ouest et le Sahel. Et maintenant, j'ai le plaisir de donner la parole à son Excellence ambassadeur Bankole Adeyeye pour délivrer le message de son Excellence Mahmoud Ali Youssouf, président de la Commission de l'Union africaine. Merci.
Your Excellency, Bola Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, President of the ECOWAS Commission, distinguished ministers, Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Youssouf, I bring warm and heartfelt greetings to all ECOWAS leaders and citizens of ECOWAS on this historic occasion. Today, the African Union is pleased to celebrate 5 decades of ECOWAS, but also to honor a legacy built on unity, resilience, a shared vision for a stronger West Africa. 50 years ago, Excellencies, the founders of ECOWAS laid the cornerstone for what has become a shining model of regional cooperation and partnership. From its inception in 1975, ECOWAS has stood as a beacon of hope, a symbol of what is possible when African countries unite in purpose and in the Pan-African spirit. We salute the ECOWAS Authority, the Commission, and above all, the citizens of this great community, both based in our continent and in the diaspora. This golden jubilee belongs to all of us to celebrate and relish in the ECOWAS success story. We especially, Excellencies, as the African Union, commend the exemplary, strategic, and stellar leadership of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, whose commitment to regional peace and stability has been instrumental over the past 2 years. Excellencies, from the visionary foresight of General Yakubu Gowon and the founding architects of ECOWAS to the present day, ECOWAS has grown into a pillar of continental progress. The adoption of the 1979 Protocol on Free Movement not only opened borders, it opened minds and hearts across our region. This visionary act laid the groundwork for the African Continental Free Trade Area and inspired the African Union in its own financing model, building on ECOWAS's own 0.5 community levy. The ECOWAS legacy is a legacy of record, and for us, it is inspiring in the African Union. ECOWAS has taught Africa what it means to be self-reliant, to be self-sufficient, to lead with courage, and be confident in its own future. The legacy of ECOWAS continues to inspire us. It is not only in treaties and protocols, but in the lives and the livelihoods touched by this great community. It has saved people. It has defended peace. It has safeguarded rights. From Liberia to Sierra Leone, from Côte d'Ivoire to the Gambia, ECOWAS has stepped forward, often as the first responder, to enforce peace, to defend democracy, to restore order, to uphold the will of the people. Its model of peace operations set the stage for the African Union's silencing the guns agenda. It has also helped to shape the fundamental instruments, such as the Leone Declaration on Unconstitutional Changes of Government and the 2000 African Charter on Democracy, Elections, and Governance. The African Union is very proud to walk this journey alongside with ECOWAS, a true pace setter and a pioneering community in promoting democratic values and principled leadership. Excellencies, as you celebrate the shared past, cultural heritage, we must also face a shared future with equal determination. The threats of terrorism, violent extremism, and unconstitutional changes of government demand nothing less than a united and coordinated response. We must face together these clear and present dangers and threats. We must also deepen our commitment to eradicating poverty, reducing inequality, and upholding the rule of law. Together, we must advance the pillars of constitutionalism, social justice, and good governance. Excellencies, the African Union reaffirms its unwavering support to ECOWAS as it navigates these challenges. Our future must be built on cooperation, not competition, on solidarity, not separation, on complementarity, not lack of harmony. We envision in the African Union an ECOWAS that is people-centered, people-driven, one where the youth and women are at the forefront of regional development, transformation, empowered by innovation, technology, and quality. Separation, on complementarity, not lack of harmony. We envision in the African Union an ECOWAS that is people-centered, people-driven, one where the youth and women are at the forefront of regional development, transformation, empowered by innovation, technology, and quality education. The ECOWAS that translates to the community of people, to the true community for the practice of regional integration, is our wish. The axis of democracy and peace is certainly West African. This is the ECOWAS of tomorrow, inclusive, democratic, and prosperous. Chairperson, Excellencies, once again, on behalf of the African Union, we convey our warmest congratulations to ECOWAS on this 50th anniversary. Let us work together forward towards a peaceful and integrated and prosperous West Africa. Let us commit to the vision of the founding leaders of the ECOWAS and the African Union. Let us build the Africa we want, united in purpose, bold in ambition, and unwavering in action. Long live ECOWAS, long live the African Union, long live all Africans. I thank you, Chair.
We thank His Excellency for the cordial and yet very meaningful message delivered on behalf of His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, President of the African Union Commission. As we draw to the close of this opening ceremony, please permit the correction of an oversight as we recognize His Excellency Baba Kamara, the ECOWAS Special Envoy for Terrorism, who is also here with us. The speech we have just heard by the message from the African Union marks the end of this opening ceremony. At this time, we would ask the ladies and gentlemen of the press to please withdraw from the room, as well as our guests. The formula for the closed-door session in which the heads of states will now deliberate is 1+3. Thank you.